Participating in the Boston Marathon is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most runners. 13-year-old Yana ran her first 5 kilometers at the prestigious event when she was just 12. While not an easy feat for any teenager, it was especially challenging for Yana.
They gave me this medal after I crossed the finish line. My legs hurt so much. The organizer met me and gave me the medal.
Yana and her family were among the millions of Ukrainians forced to flee their homes at the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. Her family made the decision to leave in April 2022 as hostilities near their hometown in Donetsk Oblast intensified.
I would have stayed there longer, but I don't know how long I would have lasted with the children. And there were planes flying above us. My aunt, my mother's sister, still lives there. We talk every day. Strikes occur almost every day. Russian forces attack with Grad rocket systems or aircraft for half a day, non-stop.
Yana, her mother, and her brother were on an evacuation train in the city of Kramatorsk when Russian forces launched a ballistic missile targeting the railway station. Hundreds of people were at the station awaiting evacuation at the time of the attack.
Tanya, our relative, was standing near this tent. She said, "What nice tea." The volunteers also gave out candies. Yana said she wanted one too, and in these 2 minutes, as Yana was standing in line and I was waiting for her, the strike happened. Had we not been waiting for that tea, we would have been in the station at the time of the attack. To be honest, when I opened my eyes, I didn't initially understand what had happened. I saw lots of people lying on the ground. I was searching for Yana. The blast had thrown Tanya, and Yana was near her. Yana's head was resting on Tanya. I turned to Tanya and saw that she was already dead. Yana crawled from over her body and said, "Mommy, I'm dying." And I said, "No, you're not." I realized she had no sneakers on, no feet. I was more worried about how she was going to react.
61 people were killed and 121 were injured, making it one of Russia's deadliest attacks on Ukraine. Yana's brother, Yaroslav, luckily wasn't injured as he had been inside the station at the time of the attack. Yana and Yaroslav's mother, Nataliia, lost her left leg. Both of Yana's legs had to be amputated. Yana and her mother got prosthetic limbs in the United States and continued their rehabilitation in Ukraine.
When she first stood up wearing sports prosthetics, she had to hold on to the wall because she didn't understand how they worked. She thought she would fall. Peter, a prosthetist, walked with her and then they started to run a bit. But Yana would still stop and immediately grab the wall. When we came here to Lviv, Oleksandr, the director of the Unbroken Charity Foundation, told us, "There's a 70-meter race. You need to run." And you know what? She put on the prosthetics and started to run back and forth in the hotel.
It was quite hard for me to run these 70 meters because I had received the sports prostheses only a few weeks ago. Also, I was running on a cobblestone road, so I was scared I would fall.
Yana completed the run successfully and soon started to prepare for a more ambitious 5-kilometer race at the renowned Boston Marathon.
At that moment, I didn't believe that I could finish these 5 kilometers. We prepared to run at most maybe 2 or 3, however much I could. We had already run 3 kilometers. I was just done. My legs were getting chafed. I thought I would just stop, and that's it. All 5 kilometers, I was accompanied by Ukrainians who didn't even train for the race. They said, "We're cheering for you and we'll run with you." They ran the whole distance with me. It was so nice when I was running and everyone was shouting, "Let's go, Yana! Good job! You can do it!" This support gave me the strength to cross the finish line.
Running the Boston Marathon wasn't just a personal achievement for Yana. She also raised $15,000 to support a Ukrainian soldier who had lost a limb in the war and needed a new prosthesis.
I discovered that Yana was an ambassador for the Unbroken Rehabilitation Center, and it was suggested that I meet her, so I did. I attended her training and wished her luck. The idea to raise funds for a sports prosthesis so I could also return to an active lifestyle was born. You realize that she's just a child, not an adult, a warrior, or a soldier. She's an ordinary girl who was injured badly, and she got through it.
Ukraine has been fighting off Russian aggression for most of Oleksandr Riasnyi's 12-year military career, and he has been part of this fight. He was severely injured by unexpected Russian shelling while he was leaving his position in September 2023.
I remember the moment I was injured, when the debris hit me. A second passed and I saw that I was bleeding heavily. I had been serving for a long time and had tactical medical training, so I immediately evaluated the severity of my wound. I understood that I had about a minute. Had I not done anything, I would have died. That motivated me. I grabbed a tourniquet and applied it as we had done during training. But you understand that it's not a training assignment. It's your life. In the intensive care unit, some part of me wanted to believe that my leg was somehow saved. But another part of me understood that I most likely didn't have a leg. It was infected and I had sepsis, the full amputation package. For the first 2 months, it was a battle for what remained of the limb. There was also a complication. Because of the amputation and my loss of consciousness, I had aspiration pneumonia, and I couldn't breathe on my own. I was hooked up to a ventilator for the first 10 days. A traumatologist changed the wound dressing for me every day. He said, "Be patient, son." He was 70 years old. He literally ripped parts of rotten flesh from me to save the rest of the limb. Rehabilitation specialists in the intensive care unit would come to me. You know, I was confined to the bed and I felt I would die soon. I had no strength, no willingness to do anything. They would come and say, "How about standing up?" They brought me a walker. I told them, "No, I don't want to, I can't." They lifted me up. By the end of the second week in intensive care, I could get up from the bed and walk with a walker from one end of the room to the other.
Oleksandr is still waiting to receive his sports prosthesis. In the meantime, he is working on adapting to his new reality, but it seems like he already knows his next step.
Of course, to be completely happy, I would have to have both of my legs. I understand that this is impossible. This, the prosthesis, will be my friend for the rest of my life. Since I've only been using the prosthesis for 2 months, I still lack confidence. I think that with time, it'll get better. I want to be back with my fellow soldiers. They're my second family. They're fighting and waiting for me. I understand that I won't be able to fight with a prosthesis on the front line. It's physically impossible. But there are many positions through which I can continue to serve. What I dream about most is peace in our country. Not peace at the cost of losing territory, but peace on our terms.
I really, really want the war in Ukraine to end so that my granny can join us because she's still in Donetsk Oblast. Strikes happen every day there and we worry about her a lot. She doesn't want to evacuate.
What's the first thing you'll do when the war ends?
I'll go to Donetsk Oblast. My mother is buried there, and so is my aunt's husband, so I have to go there.